Hello everybody and welcome to the Scouting Report. I'm Dan Hayek here with Matt Doyle, and today we're previewing the Sunday night match between the LA Galaxy and Seattle Sounders. Matt, what's your headline for this one?
Can Seattle bring their recent dominant form down to LA?
Yeah, you mentioned the dominance of the Seattle team recently. That gets us to our nuts and bolts for this one. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. They've scored 4 goals in each of their last 2. What is Seattle doing right recently, and does it translate against the Galaxy?
No, they're obviously clicking, and the big thing for me is Eddie Johnson is playing more centrally, more as a pure number 9. He's occupying both central defenders, and that's leaving plenty of room for Lamar Nagel and Obafemi Martins to exploit. They loop around the flanks, or they just make those delayed second runs, and the goals are piling up. So that's one. 2 is they're pushing their central midfield destroyer higher. This is usually Ozzy Alonso. He's out for this one. So maybe Servando Carrasco, maybe Shalry Joseph, maybe somebody else. But it's causing turnovers higher up the field. When they get those turnovers, they're converting them into goals at a great pace, obviously. And number 3, they've stopped using 2 pure attackers on the wings. They're going with a box-to-box wide player, usually Brad Evans, probably will be for this one as well. It's just added a little more bite. And another guy in the midfield who's willing to do the defensive work means more of those turnovers that lead to transition that lead to goals.
Now let's transition to the Galaxy
for
our WTF stat. And the number is 5, as in 5 big chances created by Landon Donovan. It's 3rd in the league, which is impressive because he's played 7 games so far compared to the guys ahead of him who've played more.
Not surprising at all. I mean, Landon Donovan leads the league in chances created per minute for each of the last 2 years. So it's not a surprise that he's doing it again this year. It's not a surprise that he's creating big chances as well. It's what he did not only for the Galaxy, for the Quakes, but for Everton. He led the EPL in chances created per minute when he was at Everton.
What might be a surprise, though, is that Hector Jimenez, his teammate, young kid, he has a better big chances created per minute than Landon does.
Yeah, he does. And I think that speaks more to LA's ability to use width. It's something I've been hammering on for the better part of a month now. LA don't stretch the field vertically. They stretch it horizontally. They make you come all the way to the touchline and play them. And when you do that, you allow their wide midfielders to dive in toward the 18 once they get into the final third. Jimenez, who's a very good player, he's not anything special, but he's a very good player. He's picked up on that. He's been able to find those gaps, and he's creating chances for guys like Landon Donovan, Mike McGee, and Robbie Keane. When you create chances for guys like that, you win a lot of games.
Yeah, Robbie Keane is obviously one of the most important players for this Galaxy team, and he's part of our man-to-man.
Yeah, he is. It's going to be Robbie Keane versus John Kennedy Hurtado, or maybe Zach Scott, whoever Ziggy Schmidt decides to play at that right central defender role. Keane is so good at just pulling off that line a little bit, facing up and creating. And this is where the Galaxy's ability to stretch the field horizontally comes into play. He has great vision. So Donovan makes his run, Jimenez makes his run, McGee makes a run on the other side, or maybe it's Jose Villarreal with Donovan out wide. We saw really every permutation of this against Philly a week and a half ago, and what Philly didn't do was allow the central defenders to sort of accept responsibility for Keane in a 1-versus-1 setting. When they came over and doubled, that opened channels. If Seattle gets stretched like that, then their unbeaten run is not going to continue.
All right, well, Robbie Keane is no stranger to scoring against this Seattle Sounders team, so let's find out if he does it again. We want to know what you think about this matchup, so you can tweet at us or leave comments in the section below. This one takes place Sunday. It kicks off at 11 p.m. Eastern, and it's on ESPN2.